In my previous video I got the cab in place and all the other body parts, and I spent a lot of time in lining it all up to make sure that it works out and looks right. But everything is just wrestling loosely here. So now we got to start looking at body mounts, cab mounts, to keep everything where they belong. Coming up. Hey, how's it, jokes, and welcome back to my forest workshop. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Duff, and I run a one-man shop down in South Africa, of all places. Yes, man, the love for old cars is a universal thing. So just for the benefit of the new guys, I'm sure my old friends are not going to mind if we quickly revisit a language lesson we've been having back in the day. This is a very typical South African expression, slang word though, universal here, Afrikaans speaking people and English speaking people and even all the various black languages, we all use this expression, lekker boet, and it essentially means cool brother or great brother or bro. So there you have it. If I ever say lekker boet, it basically means cool or great my brother. So this is a piece of 6mm 1/4 inch thick plate that I'm going to cut with the baby grinder. And did you know that if you do a scoring type cut, like I'm going to show you now, your discs will actually last a whole lot longer. The normal way that most people do it, by cutting right through from the beginning, like I'm going to do now, but because of that extra friction, you actually wear out the disc faster if you cut it like this. So here's my game plan for the back cab mounts. I've got my newly constructed floor frame firmly clamped to the chassis on both sides so we can't move. There I've got about a 10mm 3/8 of an inch gap. Should be fine. If it does become a problem, I can always space up a little bit more down the line. Then I found these rubber mountings. They cast. I think that will be fine. So the idea is for that to go there. I'm going to have to do something here. Just the original mountings from the Isuzu chassis sat here, but they are all busted up, so I can't use them. And actually the location is pretty nice, so I can use this bracket. So I've got this, I made this shall we call it an oversized washer from some, it looks like 1/8 steel, 3mm. So the plan is to weld that in there, centralize the hole. I need to do some cutting here just to give a bit of space here. So I'll cut this. Looks like it's touching here, but it's actually not, but still I'll cut that. Then my rubber mounting can go in like that. Then I've made this plate 6mm or 1/4 inch, and then I've cut this piece that will go in like that, and then I can weld everything up, and then I really think it should be strong enough and good enough. So let's do it. So I will fully weld these brackets the next time I take the cab off. I don't want to get too much heat in here now because of those rubber mountings. And then repeat the prescription on the other side. Cool. So that takes care of the back mountings. Now I've got to look at the front cab mountings, and they are sitting in here. So I think my life's just going to be a whole lot easier if I take this fender off first. So I'm going to have to crawl in here to undo these bolts. So as far as this front cab mounting go, let me just zoom in here so we can look at it a little bit closer. This here is the stock standard Isuzu mounting bracket. So I can actually reuse this, sitting in a good position. Here's my newly made floor frame. So if I use that same type of rubber mounting that I used in the back, I can put it in there. I'll cut this part off because it's not needed. I've already made this plate, 1/4 inch, 6 millimeter. So now if I can weld in a piece of flat bar there, probably gusset it on both sides, and then we should be strong. This section sticking past here is actually not going to be required anymore. It's going to serve no purpose. So I might actually cut this off down the line. We'll see. So I've got both sides done. They're not fully welded because the heat would actually stuff up my rubber here. So they've just tacked together well enough, and when I take the cab off again, I weld them up fully. So I've also got these brackets now finalized. They are holding this part of the grill shell. I've got some rubber in here as well. It turned out rather ridiculously complex. But I needed this gap here for the steering column. But yeah, they will do the job. And then finally, this mounting right at the bottom end of the grill shell up front here. This was a temporary arrangement. So I would like to install the similar type of rubber mounting in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just stick a little wedge in here to hold it as this fixed height. And now I can take this out. And now I'm going to cut this off so that I can get that in place, move it up, and weld it back on. Now, I don't want too much heat to go into that rubber, man. I reckon my tacks are good enough for now. So also this one I will weld it up fully when I'm taking everything apart again. Sweet! Okay, so this grill shell is now not going anywhere anymore. I've got it sitting on a mounting here and there. This as well on both sides. It's looking pretty good. If you look at it long enough and hard enough, you'll see that it's not 100% symmetrical. It almost looks to me like this curve here sits a little bit lower than the one on that side. Maybe to do with this knock that the thing received there in one stage of its life. But you know what? Like Rat Rod Bob says, it's just a rat rod. Okay, lekker man. So as far as I'm concerned, I've made some real progress here. My cab and the grill shell and everything else is now located in its final position. Everything's tying together. So I'm a happy chappy. Next up, I think I would need to see how my engine and gearbox is going to fit. So I think I will probably strip everything off the front again, and we can drop the engine and the gearbox in there, see what happens. But we'll do that in another video. Thanks for hanging out with me out here. I appreciate it. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, have a lekker one.